One of the questions that I get asked a lot is what is the difference between data science versus machine learning versus deep learning versus AI. Data science, machine learning, deep learning, AI. The reason anybody would get confused with this is because if you are a newcomer, people talk about all these different terms in the same context. So it's natural to get confused with these. An umbrella term for all of these is artificial intelligence. So think of this as AI, the big circle. Now, what is AI? If a machine, a computer, can act intelligently, it's called as artificial intelligence. Now, this is not something new, that something happened in the last few years. This has been there for quite some time. It started somewhere in 1960s or 1950s, and then in the 1970s, when there were bigger computers, there were systems called expert systems that were called as artificial intelligence. For example, to diagnose a disease, there were a set of rules written, and those rules were framed by humans but seemed intelligent enough at the outset so that you can call it an artificial intelligence system. So people called it an artificial intelligence system. But it was not until late 2015 or 14 when deep learning evolved that artificial intelligence has come of age really. So AI is still an umbrella term for everything that seems intelligent. If a machine is seemingly intelligent, you can call it an AI system. Some of the examples are self-driving cars, voice recognition, speech recognition. These are all examples of scenarios where the computer seems very intelligent, like a human, right? If it's doing an addition or a subtraction or a complex multiplication, we wouldn't call it intelligent. It's still intelligence, but still we wouldn't call it as artificial intelligence. But, but if the computer is trying to do something that a human is able to do, we call that as artificial intelligence. Now, what is machine learning? Think of machine learning as a subset of AI. So this is machine learning. Now, machine learning is a set of techniques developed using statistics mostly, and they can do some pretty interesting things. Like what? Machine learning can predict mortality rate of infants based on certain conditions, like the number of months at which they were born, their parents' age, a bunch of factors. How it does it is purely statistical. So ML or machine learning is something that's based purely on statistics. There are some techniques in machine learning that might not be based on statistics. Like for example, there are some market basket analysis that you can do, which is not purely statistics based. There is a bit of math involved, but it's not purely statistics. So statistics and math. So machine learning is based on statistics and math. So machine learning based systems are really probably the first intelligent systems. I would call it first real intelligent systems in AI, and they have started as early as 1980s or 1990s. They have been there for quite some time, but the reason why it was not so popular is because these techniques require quite a lot of data. And it's not until after 2000s that systems got so heavy and big that they were able to process so much data. So this really became popular after 2005. But believe me, there were some techniques which were probably not called machine learning, but still using statistics, we were still able to do predictive analytics or some kind of an intelligent system completely using statistics way before 2005. But it's not until 2004 5ish that people started to call this as machine learning. And then there is something called as deep learning. Deep learning is a specific subset of machine learning. Why is it so different? The reason it's different is because this uses a special technique called neural network. Sometimes it's also called artificial neural network or ANN. There are many variations of artificial neural networks like CNN, RNN, but they're all essentially the same. They are all based off of something called as a neural network. Now, what is a neural network? A neural network is inspired off of the human brain. Not just how it thinks, but in terms of its physical architecture. So there is something called as a neuron, and then there are a network of neurons that combine together to become an intelligent system. Now, an artificial neural network tries to simulate that physically and tries to create an intelligent system. Artificial neural networks have been there for quite some time, but it's not until 2012 or 2011 when data started to become huge and become available in many different formats that deep learning has become very popular. Self-driving cars is a very good example of deep learning. It's completely deep learning based, and all the super intelligent systems that you see like self-driving cars or Google search or Facebook image recognition, these are all based on deep learning. So probably the most intelligent of all these systems is really this specific subset of algorithms called deep learning. Now we have covered machine learning, we have covered deep learning, we have covered AI. Now what is data science? This is probably the biggest term that you see out there, data science. So what is data science? Data science is an umbrella term that basically is used in scenarios where we are trying to make sense of data. Now, when I mean make sense of data, you would want to analyze data. And wants to analyze the claim rate for this current year as compared to the previous year, right? So that is analysis. Say the same insurance company now wants to analyze and predict claims rate for the next year based on this year and the last 15 years. So anything to do with analyzing and predicting based on data is called data science. Now, where does it fit in this artificial intelligence? Now, you could say probably it cuts across like this. So anything here, you could call it data science. Now the difference here between these systems and data science is the system that you're building need not necessarily be an intelligent system. For example, data analysis is not something new. It's been going on ever since data has been created. But mostly prediction is something, although it's been going on for quite some time, this part of it is what So this part of it is prediction. And this part of it is analysis. So when you're trying to explain the past, so this is all the past. You analyze the past, right? And you predict the future. So the part of data science where you're trying to predict the future using past data is part of AI. And whenever you're trying to analyze past data, you can think of it as data science that's not really artificial intelligence. It could still use the same mathematical and statistical models, but you wouldn't want to call it artificial intelligence because it's not really intelligent. So unless you start predicting, it's not really intelligent, right? So this is the difference between data science, machine learning, deep learning, and AI. So let me recap what we have learned here. So the question was, what is data science versus machine learning versus deep learning versus AI? This is probably one of the most commonly asked questions. We have started out with defining what AI is. We said AI is a system, computer or a network of computers that looks seemingly intelligent. Meaning, it's not just doing additions or subtractions or building websites, it's doing something intelligent, like doing a prediction based off of data, like driving a car, like understanding your words, like doing recommendations on Amazon. These are all examples of artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence doesn't talk to you about any specific technique. It's an umbrella term. It could involve any technique. Now, machine learning is a specific set of technologies that's based on statistics and math, and it's been there for quite some time. Maybe it was not called machine learning. The term came up pretty recently in the past 15 years or 10 years. And when you use a specific set of statistics or math-based models and use data to let the machine understand what's going on and being able to predict and act intelligently, those kind of systems are called machine learning systems. Next, we talked about deep learning. A deep learning system uses a specific set of technologies that are based off of artificial neural networks. So these systems are simulated off of the physical architecture of the human brain. And some of the examples of artificial neural networks or deep learning is the Tesla self-driving mechanism. It's based off of deep learning. Or some of the algorithms in Google search now are based off of deep learning. Or image recognition, like Facebook's image recognition, that's based off of deep learning. And finally, we talked about data science. What is data science? Data science is an umbrella term used to either analyze or predict scenarios based off of data. So as long as you're trying to do anything intelligent out of data, you can call it data science. Now, in terms of the overall fit of data science compared to AI, ML, and DL, think of it as cutting across all these domains. You can build an AI system using data science. The moment you start using data, you can call it data science, remember? So data science is an umbrella term that covers everything that's there related to data in terms of either analyzing the past or predicting the future. So just for convenience, I've tried to divide that into two parts. Anything that you're trying to analyze the past, you still call it data science, but it's not really an intelligent system. But the moment you start predicting the future based off of past data using any of these techniques, you can still call it data science. So this is the difference between data science, machine learning, deep learning, and AI.